Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, new Transformers Studio Series figures are revealed. The Bumblebee movie gets a Masterpiece Bumblebee figure, and we get a look at the Transformers Siege promotional poster. Today is Wednesday, September 5th, 2018, and this is episode 293 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's going to start its own studio series with blackjack and hookers. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Yusuf, better known as Yoshi.
Yo!
And Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
Did you get that, Daryl? Did you feel that? That's what happens when you don't show up. Somebody else delivers your fucking line.
So this week, since Daryl's not here, we're going to have two alt modes. So this is all fun.
We're going to review each episode of Cyberverse in detail.
All right. No, we're still going to do a toy show, Daryl. Don't worry. Don't build a time machine, come back in time so you can record with us to make sure we record a toy show.
Still waiting on those pictures from Fan Expo, Daryl.
All right. So no new donations this week. Sorry, Yoshi.
The fuck? Do we have any cancellations?
Yeah.
A few.
Son of a bitch.
It's the beginning of the month that happens. But anyway, we are to try and entice you guys to come back or, sign up if you haven't previously. We've got another contest for classic G1 reissues. Now, Yoshi likes G1 reissues, and we're betting a few of our listeners do too. And Daryl has found a Starscream, a Devastator, and a Bumblebee up in the Canadian Walmarts. They seem to be plentiful there. And we've got a few we're going to give them away in about a month. So you've got a month to sign up for the Donatron, either Patreon or PayPal on the Transmissions, and you will be automatically entered to win one of those three figures.
I can remember a day where Canadians were complaining about never getting anything. And they have Toys R Us's and they have Walmarts that have the classic figures.
Yep.
They have lost the right to complain about anything now.
What the fuck has happened to the world?
Canada
They're going
is
to politely start taking over the world.
Yes, DJ Ronan, we will blame Canada. But
no, let's do this. Fuck you, Canada. All right.
Well, speaking of Canada, our latest Transmissions Declassified, so this is the one that came out in August, just under the wire. So it's up and available for all of our Donatrons. It's Declassified episode number 12. And this one, it features all Canadians. This is Daryl's baby, a Daryl episode. It's all about fixing, modding, cleaning, and caring for your Transformers figures. And he invited Chris, a.k.a. Evangelist from WTF at TFW, and Echo TF, who is Steven, who we've had on the show a while ago. He's a kind of upgrade kit third-party toy designer. So, and they're all from Canada, so they're all Canadian, so it was a completely Canadian Transmissions Declassified.
And because it's a Canadian episode, it's got the least amount of downloads. So could you guys download it and make Daryl feel better, please? Please.
It also is about 2 hours and 40 minutes. So prepare yourself. But it was all great content. I liked it.
Yeah. Except for the part where Daryl threw me under the bus.
What did he do?
So he
lay on my couch, Charles. Tell us what happened.
He talked about how I was so stupid and couldn't repair my broken G1 hot rod, and then got all the details wrong about what was wrong with it. Made me look like an idiot. When my G1 hot rod that I had, the back was broken off. I couldn't repair it because I can't meld plastic together when it's broken. I told Daryl this. He didn't believe me. Then when I showed him the figure when we were at a TFCon, and I showed him how it was broken, he's like, "Oh, you can't fix that." So then where Daryl did do a good job is he found another broken hot rod figure that was broken in a different place, and then he gave me that one. And with that, I was able to Frankenstein together a completely working fixed hot rod.
So now you know the real reason why Daryl isn't here tonight.
What a dick.
There's plenty of things to make fun of me about. You don't have to invent something to make fun of me. But I know how to, I know how to put tabs in holes. All right. Daryl, we love you. Great job on the Declassified. And I think we do have a clip. So, Jeremy, roll that beautiful bean footage.
And again, you can get it at a lot of hobby stores, and a lot of the real pro model builders use it. As I remember correctly, Jared did some of that. I think it might have been on his MP Prowl or something. Anyways, highly recommend people check it out if they want the real chrome.
So I got a thing that I've looked into and I've messed with a bit. I learned this actually from Tested. It's called Molotov Liquid Chrome.
That's what I was going to say. I actually am holding a bottle of it right now.
Yeah, it is an ink. They have a spray-on version too, and the reason they started selling pens is people were taking the stuff that was meant to go in an airbrush to be sprayed on and just like painting it on. The community who has the biggest knowledge about Molotov Liquid Chrome is the prop community.
That was okay. I was limited by a time constraint.
I make suggestions. I don't give orders.
Really?
But anyway, that was a great discussion about the Molotov Chrome pens and about how long it takes to dry.
All right. So
is chrome short for chromium?
I would think that's the actual metal's name.
Okay. I totally went off. Sorry.
This week in metallurgy.
Just slam the brakes on the podcast for your random question.
Hey, I'd rather slam the brakes than throw you under the bus, sir.
Fair enough.
That's right. Fuck you, Daryl.
All right, that's a little too far.
Jesus Christ, I can't win with you.
All right, let's before Daryl has a fit, let's get into some toy topics because that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about toys. We promise, Daryl. We promise.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
If I informed you that I picked up a physical copy of Optimus Prime 22, could I get you to change the way we're going with this episode? Do we have to talk about toys? Can we just go straight to the comic?
No, we have to talk about toys. Sorry.
All right.
At Fan Expo, Hasbro announced several new Studio Series figures. First up is a deluxe class World War II Bumblebee from that one short scene in Transformers The Last Night. He is an armored transport of some sort and has a huge gun sticking out. And then in robot mode, he has like this, like a different huge gun and a hammer for some reason. And he's green. And I don't think I've ever seen an official Bumblebee named character that is not yellow. So it's interesting, but I mean, World War II colors. And plus his vehicle is of the German design because I think he was undercover.
Duh.
What do you guys think of this design? It's, I mean, definitely not the cute car Bumblebee that we're used to, but it's the movie verse.
Meh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's hard pass. I don't have anything really to say. I mean, I always thought it was The Last Night was a mess. I'll just say that. And, throwing World War II in there and all the other stuff that happened in The Last Night, I just would like to forget about. So,
yeah, I mean, that whole scene kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, DJ Ronan, thanks for supplying more pictures already than Daryl has been able to supply from Fan Expo. In our Discord chat, you guys should join. It's free. Transmissions.com/Discord. This thing looks like when it transforms, all the bulk just folds onto the back. It doesn't look like anything fantastic happens in this transformation.
It does look like that.
Yeah.
And in vehicle mode, you can see a big hunk of robot something on the undercarriage.
I hate to be the guy that acts like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to action figures, but this thing looks like, I'm going to call it kibble shifting.
It's probably accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, here's some more, official product pictures, and that gives you a better look at the toy. And yeah, you can definitely see it looks like the entire car is on his back.
Mm.
That's sad.
I'd expect that from Mattel, but not Hasbro.
Yeah. Let's move on to another Bumblebee. The deluxe class clunker Bumblebee from the 07 movie. This is the Camaro that is all beat up, when we first encounter him. And I have the previous. Definitely wasn't like a Masterpiece level figure. I think it was just their deluxe figure at the time. I mean, this looks like an upgrade of that design with, I guess, some more modern engineering. But the name Clunker Bumblebee is a horrible name. But I mean, I am looking. It looks like he has like some patches on the side and the paint and stuff. And the vehicle mode definitely does look like that beat up Camaro. But it's just, I'm not that into this design. DJ Ronan in our Discord says that it looks like it's the same one that was released with the San Diego tapes, but just a different paint job, just like we saw with the VW Bug version where they did similar thing.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Easy way to add another figure to their Studio Series line without having to do a new mold.
Yeah.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. It's hard to make these mass-produced toys look like they're worn or weathered. I have a feeling this photo is being very generous to how good this looks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which movie is this one from?
The first one, the 07.
I was going to say something because I hate to do this, but if you stare at his crotch, you could kind of see where he peed from. Unsee that, everybody.
Yeah, that's something I want to remember from the 07 movie.
All right. Well, one more thing from the 07 movie. We have a deluxe class barricade, and I'm thinking this is one of the best looking ones out of the bunch. It's your Mustang police car, and the vehicle mode has an entirely terrifying, some kind of like spinning implement as a weapon. The face actually looks somewhat like a face, and I like that the eyes kind of look like the big police sunglasses, like from the 80s. I would think out of all of these that we've seen, that is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I bought Barricade. I think was the one toy I bought from the 07 line when it first came out. Yeah, this looks pretty good.
If I were to get this guy, I wouldn't transform him ever out of alt mode. And the only thing good about his alt mode is the tag sticker that says to punish and enslave.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this one doesn't come with a little frenzy figure like the old deluxe one did.
Yeah. Well, and let's wrap this up. We have two figures from Dark of the Moon. We have deluxe class Crankcase, who turns into a, I'm guessing this is like a police SUV. And then we have a deluxe class Sideswipe that Daryl, I'm sure, would know the exact car. I'm guessing it's a Corvette. I think that's what the logo is on the front. Out of these,
might be a Dodge Dart.
Okay, I'll trust you on that because I'm not a car guy. But the Crankcase looks pretty good. He's the one that has like the dreads, and I think we talked about a toy from him last year. It might have actually been a pre-production version of this. It looks okay. Sideswipe, I think the car mode looks great. The vehicle mode looks like his feet are on wheels. Like it looks like two of the wheels become his feet, and I'm not sure exactly how stable that would be.
Yeah, because I think in the movie that's what like he was like rollerblading. Yeah, and of course he's silver instead of red.
Oh yeah,
because he was
of course because of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and a skirt reminds us that according to the article that I'm not looking at, it's a Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. So I was right; it is a Corvette. So that is everything we have from the regular Studio Series. We were hoping for a lot of War for Cybertron stuff, and we didn't get it.
Yep, nothing.
But there's always New York Toy Fair coming up.
Well, we got New York Comic Con before that.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. New York Comic Con coming up. And there's TFCon, but they won't come. So that is it. I mean, the movie stuff, I like that they're kind of rolling some of the Bumblebee movie stuff into this line to try to get a little bit more publicity, I guess. So that is all I got. Yoshi, what do you got?
So this week, gentlemen, it's going to be hard to talk about this. We've got pre-orders up for Transformers Masterpiece Movie, MPM07, the movie Bumblebee figure. And you can pre-order this guy, but nobody can confirm that the image we see is what you're going to get, or if it's going to be a completely different vehicle for Bumblebee at all. It's interesting. The thing's up for pre-sale for about $79. It's supposed to come out around mid-October. I think it's cool that they're getting these masterpieces for the movie coming. Yeah, it's hard to say what it's going to actually look like. I think everybody hopes it's going to be the Volkswagen Bug, don't you, Charles?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to be. I mean, yeah, we don't have any pictures, but I guess we do have confirmation that it will be a Beetle because it is supposed to tie into the movie. This is interesting because we're getting a Masterpiece figure like before the media that it was first featured in is even out. Like usually Masterpiece is coming, way after the fact.
Which makes me wonder if they're just retooling the existing Volkswagen.
No, I think the movie look is so different. They would have to have a new mold, which is sad because the existing one is a great Masterpiece toy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the G1 Bumblebee is, his feet are the hood, and the movie Bumblebee is his chest is the hood.
I have a article here from March that had a what purports to be a prototype picture of that VW. It looks like the same one in the picture, like judging from the front of the VW.
Okay, interesting.
And some of the other figures are some of the ones we just talked about, like the I guess like the hammer you see there is one that we just talked about.
But you don't think this could be the Studio Series one, not the Masterpiece one?
Oh, you know what? It could be. Yeah. This article says that they think it's the Masterpiece, but who knows?
Okay. Maybe the Masterpiece is like a retool of the Studio Series version. That would be kind of sucky.
Yeah, I mean, Masterpiece needs to be its own brand new design.
They're going to tarnish the name if they fucking do that shit. So yeah, pre-orders up, everybody. Charles, what do you have this week?
Okay, so I have just a couple of things. First is some announcements. This is a confirmation from Amazon Australia that we were getting just confirmation of new Transformers Cyberverse figures that are probably going to come in 2019. So we don't have any pictures, but in this listing, we have Prowl, Soundwave, Hot Rod in the Warrior class, and then in the Ultra class, I guess the code name was Wood Ducks Optimus Prime, and the next code name Green Jacket Slipstream. Interesting. And then the Ultimate class is a Bumblebee. So these are all the figures for the kiddies, I guess.
I love my classic G1 Wood Ducks figure.
Have we heard of Ultimate class before?
Not really. I guess it's something
new for this line.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's, we don't really know anything about it. I would imagine it's going to be just a really big but less articulated toy for the kids. Although, $45 Australian, I'm not sure what that is in real money.
Someone Google it.
What is $45 Australian in real money, Google?
It's about $32.
Okay. So it's probably not that big.
It's like something the size of Teddy Ruxpin without the electronics.
Well, the leader class figures were $45 or $50, so
maybe it's the equivalent in Cyberverse.
Maybe.
Ultra would kind of be equivalent to the Voyager.
All right. Well, that's since there's nothing really to look at. It's just just a little bit of information. And then we did get some artwork from the Transformers Siege line that does tease potential upcoming figures. So this was, I guess Hasbro was putting this out as a press kit. TFW 2005 got it. And yeah, you can see in this little this bit of artwork some of the figures that were already announced. So we have Optimus Prime, we have Hound, Sideswipe, Ironhide, Chromia. Then we've also got what looks like Red Alert and Prowl, who I don't think they've been announced for War for Cybertron Siege yet. So, of course, Red Alert is just a repaint of Sideswipe, so that's not too amazing. But Prowl is there too. And in the background, way up at the top, you've got what looks like some Tetrajet Seekers. So throw away your pre-orders for those third-party Tetrajets, because you're getting official Tetrajets, looks like, in this line. So Hasbro's screwing the third party again.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
This art has so many textures on it.
They did it for you.
They did. Hasbro, you're not making a friend here.
I do think it's interesting with those Seekers that you have Thundercracker in the middle and Sideswipe, or Starscream's on the side.
Yeah.
It's because he's running away from the fight.
I'm really wondering what their figures are going to look like. I mean, I'm curious, like, how do you do, like, because we know Hasbro designs are not as intricate as the, they're less expensive and not as intricate as the third party figures. So how do you do a budget Seeker mold?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about that. So I guess we'll have to wait till New York Comic-Con to find out. But this gives us a little tease. And sadly, that's all for toys this week.
Send complaints to Daryl at transmissionspodcast.com.
Yeah,
it's just not a lot going on this week.
Daryl, it wasn't our fault. There were just not really good toy topics. We tried to find stuff to talk about. We tried. We really did. Anyway, let's move on to some trips to the store. And this is where we show off all the awesome Transformers stuff we got this week. We do this as a video, and we show it on YouTube so you can see all the purchases we got. And we will also describe them in audio detail right here in the podcast as well. So keep listening, but then pop over to YouTube and see those figures in glorious extra color. So without further ado, trips to the store. All right, well, let's get into some of the toys that we picked up this week. This is for you, Daryl. Sorry you're not here. I know if he was here, he'd have lots of cool stuff to show us, but we just have little things. I picked up Wave 3 Prime Masters. Here they are. I didn't get Bludgeon. I didn't find it, but I did find Octopunch and Bomb Burst. See these little guys?
Octopus Man is my favorite.
Octopunch has Solus Prime as the Prime Master, and Bomb Burst has Megatronus. And yeah, here's their little thingy doos, so you can make them weapons. I really like these little figures, little pretenders.
It works better with Octopunch being down. Actually makes it look like the tentacles.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, these are the guys I got. This is all I got this week. Prime Masters. Yay.
It's huge, everybody. Charles opened a figure.
Two.
I've been opening figures for the last year. All right, Jeremy, what do you got?
I got Bumblebee number 3. I know it came out a couple weeks ago, but I haven't been able to make it to my store because work has been trying to kill me. This is continuing the prequel to the upcoming movie. I'm actually kind of enjoying it, but I'm a fan of a lot of the James Bond movies, and this is a spoof on a lot of that stuff. And then I also got the Wave 3 Prime Masters, and I like them as well. I'm not really as big of a fan of Bomb Burst's reusing of the little kind of I don't know,
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger claws.
Yeah, that claw weapon that we've seen multiple times. It's just get a little more creativity, please. It's just it's a highly detailed thing. It can just, I don't know, it could be anything. But
I like that figure when Charles showed it off.
Yeah, it was much better then. The Octopunch one, I think, is much better. Like I said, I like it because when it's down, it's the only one that actually makes it look more like the figure is supposed to look with the octopus arms. And then if you look at the thing, it's actually detailed. It probably won't show up on my camera, but they're actually like little suction cups molded in. I mean, they actually did some work on that. So I love the little pretender gimmick, and yeah. So that is all I got this week. How about you, Yoshi?
Well, I got creative this week, boys.
You have Wave 3 Prime Masters?
Yeah. So I was at the store, and Charles failed me again. I asked him if I had a certain action figure, and he couldn't tell me.
I failed to not keep track of your collection. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I was trying to figure out if it was on the show, because I figured if it was on the show, you would remember, but you failed me. And so I just pulled it from my closet. Apparently I have it. I don't have to rebuy it. So I figured I'd pull them all out.
I remember important things, Yoshi.
And now that I have one of each of these, and now that I can't buy the first two anymore, I kind of want to start an army. So
I have all those figures, and they're all opened and played with.
Did you actually mention what the figure was for the audio listener?
yeah, it's Scrapnel from Power of the Primes. It's an Insecticon. It's gorgeous. Shrapnel. Now your brain works. Where was that when I needed you at the store?
I remember important things. I don't remember every trips to the store.
Yeah, you gotta check with Daryl for that. Because he'll tell you if you're double dipping.
I have the Generation Shrapnel that came with a little Target Master reflector figure.
I got the G1 figure. You want to keep me? How much further can you go back now?
So do I. So there.
Did you open
Never had any Decepticons.
Yes. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. Wah wah. You can probably still get those platinum editions Insecticons for like $5 million.
I got Wave 3 Prime Master.
Well, are you going to open your Insecticons, Yoshi?
Yeah, eventually. I know where to put them right now. So
yeah. After you finish reading Transformers Regeneration 1.
Hey, I passed the halfway mark on Generation 2. I'm getting there. That's all I've got, though, boys. Yeah.
All right. So with no Daryl here, it's a short trip to the store. We don't have a massive
Daryl pretty much
haul
carries this
to
thing,
show off. Yeah. But we got Wave 3 Prime Masters. Got lots of them. All right, guys. That's it for trips to the store. All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with some feedback.
That's right. And if you want to leave us feedback here on the podcast, hit us up at transmissionspodcast.com/feedback. Check that I'm not on mute, and I'm not. And this week's feedback comes via Patreon from donor Skirt. And Skirt left us a very hefty chunk of feedback, to which I have only sliced out a little piece here, which I thought was relevant, and I'll go ahead and read that. Skirt says, since it didn't really get explained upon much in Declassified number 12 when it came up, I was just curious how the rest of the Transmissions podcasters felt about the questions. Does kit bashing together multiple incomplete figures of the same mold to make a whole figure somehow take away the legitimacy of it being an authentic, complete figure to you? Does it do that? Does repairing and replacing a goodly portion of the figure from your childhood make it less or the same figure as you had as a kid? And does making new parts or to complete the figure, whether scratch built, cast, or printed, make it somehow more okay when nostalgia is at play? That is a fantastic question, which honestly makes me want to listen to that episode of Declassified. How do you feel, Charles? You've Frankenstein together some figures back to their normality.
Yes, as we talked about at the beginning of the show and in Declassified.
We had to do that because I believe, if I remember correctly, there's a guy on that episode. His name's Darrell. Threw you under the bus.
He did.
Yes.
But to this question, though, I think for me personally, I think all these things are quote unquote legitimate. If it's for your collection, I think that's cool. I mean, I think Daryl's the one who's more into the kind of scavenger hunt, completing a figure, getting all the pieces from different places and putting them together. He's been doing that. He's had a few projects over the years that we've witnessed his journey on. And I think those are cool. Those are nice. Those are nice projects. Nice way to recapture your nostalgia. I think the only thing where this might be like something that matters in terms of being not legitimate would be maybe if you're trying to sell the figure. So I think if you're trying to sell it, you should probably say, well, this is not something that came right out of a single box. We assembled all these pieces, from different places. So I think that probably hurts the resale value. But if it's just for your collection and just for something you want to be proud of, to have recapture this figure from your childhood, I'd say go for it. It's fine.
I agree. If it's your collection, do whatever makes you happy. And like personally, me, I have a hound that a friend of mine, he had a bunch of busted hounds and he just had me send it to him. This is the one I had from childhood. So it was missing tires and had a lot of loose joints and stuff. And he replaced everything that was missing, tightened everything up. And, it's not, as good as new, but it is much better than it was before. And I think that's great. If I were to sell it, I would disclose, hey, some parts have been replaced. I think that's only fair to the person that's going to buy it. But since I'm not, and it's in my collection, it's fine. Regarding like casting new pieces, I don't know. I mean, if that would make you happy, then fine. I don't know if I would have the quality, to do that. I mean, I have bought like parts off of Shapeways for, like they mentioned in the Declassified, for my RID Optimus Prime, where the tire cracked because they used substandard rubber. I got a plastic tire from Shapeways that fits in there perfectly, and it doesn't look as good, and it's not rubber, but at least it's a tire that's there. I would much rather have a rubber tire on that figure because that's what it came with. But it's all goes back to what makes you happy, because it's your collection, and that's kind of, I mean, it's a very personal decision.
It's a good answer, Jeremy. I don't think there is anything illegitimate about grabbing pieces from the same figure from different figures to create one solid figure. Does the Mona Lisa lose value because it was restored? No, I don't think so. They're
still the only one.
They got the world's greatest professionals that work on that when they do that kind of shit. I mean, you can't.
If they got Bob's paint restoration in there, that might not be so good for the value.
Right. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, the shit's getting old. The shit's starting to fall apart, and that kind of thing we're going to see probably more and more. Personally, I like to think that what I'm collecting or being sold is what the salesman is telling me is the truth, and it's the original figure and its original box with all of its original pieces. But I'm not the smartest person in this chat room, and I'm not the smartest person on this show. I could be easily bamboozled, but I like to think I'm not. That's just how I like to collect. Like Jeremy said, there are so many ways to enjoy this hobby and to collect figures or whatever it is you want within the Transformers fandom. If you're happy with it, that's what matters. It doesn't matter if what you collect makes somebody else happy. Fuck them. It's about you. And I think that answers Skirt's question, Charles.
All right.
So that'll be the end of feedback, Charles.
Okay.
Like a pro.
And that takes us to the end of the show. Do want to remind you, in terms of leaving feedback, you can also leave us voicemails. We do enjoy getting voicemails, and we will play them on the show. So, if you want to have audio feedback and not just written feedback, that's an option.
Yeah, we particularly love that.
Who threw who better under the bus? Did Charles throw Daryl better under the bus, or did Daryl throw Charles better under the bus? We want to know. Inquiring minds. Hit us up on that voicemail.
Transmissionspodcast.com/feedback. That's where you go. All right, that'll do it. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Transmissions. Remember, you can help support the show by donating to us directly via Patreon or PayPal. Once you become a donor, you will receive access to donor-only goodies, like donor-only contests, listening to us record transmissions live, and getting Transmissions swag at 20% off. You can find links for this at transmissionspodcast.com/support. Subscribing to us on Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play is also a great way to support us here at Transmissions. Every subscription we get helps us get better noticed on those services. Leaving us a comment and 5-star review doesn't hurt either. Be sure to come chat with us on Discord. You will find a link for Discord at transmissionspodcast.com/discord. And of course, you can always send us an email at feedback@transmissionspodcast.com. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Fuck you, Craig. Slut. That's right, Doug Gates.
All right. Zencaster is Zencasting for all the good it does us.
Fucking hate this tool. Let's make sure it's working. It seems to be working, gentlemen. We can get going now. Fucking piece of shit.
Sorry to interrupt, but the picture says Transformers: The Last Night. I think it's from that one scene in the last movie where he was in World War II.
I thought he was a regular car in that scene.
I'm just looking at the picture.
I naturally block out all movie related logos.
So that Daryl doesn't have anything to hold against us, we should redo that whole thing, Jeremy.
Yoshi, you're on mute.
Fuck, thank you. Because I was really going there. Now I gotta find it again. Hang on. All right.
It
looks fine in Canada. We won't know what the rest of the world is seeing, though. Skirt? Is it pronounced skirt? Is that how I say it? Skirt?
Like what Yoshi chases?
You're not wrong. You guess. It's your fucking name, dude. All right.
He doesn't address himself by his internet handle and with real people.
Well, I can go skirt. I can go skeet. No, I can't go skeet.
Well, if we ever met him at a con, we'd be like skirt.
That'll make him change his handle real quick.
A car peeling out, see, like, that's how we were supposed to pronounce it.
Jesus Christ. How much is he donating? I want to know if it's worth going to that kind of effort.
You said I'm the only one with something.
Oh, I'm the only one with balls to say what he has to show off. Fucking Craig.